This is a guide for getting the best possible results using Stencil-Tech's spray-on system. Always check the condition of the substrate before any work is carried out. Simply by rubbing your hand over the concrete will give a good indication of the surface condition. When using this procedure, you will usually get a white powder on your hand. This is known as chalky latex. This must be removed. There are two methods of cleaning, chemical and mechanical. Chemical cleaning is done normally with acid to remove any chalky latex from the surface. It must be neutralized using bicarbonated soda before proceeding. Alternatively, mechanical cleaning can be done using a pressure washer of 3,500 psi. Use both methods if necessary. The surface should be retested and the method done a second time if necessary. Application of primer and bonding agent. The activator is a bonding agent used as an admixture in the base coat, the colour spray coat and as a primer. The primer coat is a very important part of the application procedure and should be applied directly onto the surface. Be very generous with this. It's most important to keep the surface wet with activator. Avoid allowing the surface to dry out before the base coat is applied, as this may form a barrier between the substrate and cause problems later on in the process. Application of base coat. Add 4 litres of activator to a 25 litre bucket and start the mixing drill. Start adding the base coat into the bucket and continue to mix for 3 minutes or until it reaches a creamy consistency. There are 3 methods of applying the base coat, either with a broom, spray or trowel. Masking and protection. Before mixing commences, a 4 square metre piece of plastic should be laid out at a predetermined area. This will catch any splashes and spillages and contain all mess to one area that can be later removed. It's most important to protect all brickwork and other areas from overspray. Masking along the wall and fence areas keep everything clean. It's a good idea to apply clear spray adhesive before masking to give good adhesion to the tape. Laying the stencil. It is common practice to lay the Stencil-Tech header course, features and rosettes first. Place header course around the area to be sprayed. It is normally placed 25mm from the edge of the concrete. The outside line of the Stencil-Tech header course should be continued around the edge. Blue tack putty is normally used to hold the stencil in position. A piece around the size of a pea should be placed under the stencil and applied pressure to secure. Do not use too much, as this can cause problems later on in the process. Now you can begin laying the main stencil. Take care to align the pattern correctly and then carefully trim off the excess. Make sure all the edges overlap halfway into the middle of the inner line of the stencil border. Then stick down with glue tack. Only place glue tack where you can roll a piece under without lifting the stencil. spraying the top coat. All personal protection equipment should be worn at all times. Add 4 litres of activator into a 25-litre bucket and start the mixing drill. Start adding the Stencil-Tech colour into the bucket and mix to a creamy consistency. You could add more activator if the mix is too thick to spray. Then, fill the sprayer. You can adjust the air pressure if necessary. Spraying should be done in a circular motion, making sure there are no thin spots. More colour can be applied if necessary. After the entire area has been sprayed, then add the fleck coat if required. This can be achieved by applying random shades of contrasting colours lightly over the surface to give a brindle effect. removing the stencil and cleaning up. Only walk on areas where the Stencil-Tech stencil is still in the surface. All masking should be removed at this stage. Normally, the Stencil-Tech stencil can be removed when you can walk on the nearly dry surface in socks without leaving marks. Start at the furthest point and continue pulling out the stencil. Use a leaf blower to remove any loose chips from the surface and brush vigorously with a broom to remove any grit from the joints. Re-blow the surface if necessary. Now it is time to remove the blue tack putty. It's very important to remove it all. Failure to do so will cause problems later on in the process. Applying the sealer. Once the rubbish and loose chippings have been removed from the area, you can now apply the sealer. Fill the pressure pot almost to the top with Stencil-Tech low solid sealer and pump the pressure as required. The Stencil-Tech low solid sealer will penetrate into the surface as a first coat. Start applying to the surface. Spray approximately 10 square meters at a time and massage in with a broom. This should be allowed to dry for approximately 30 minutes before the second coat of Stencil-Tech high solid sealer is applied. Be very generous with this final coat as it gives the surface ultimate protection from the elements and increases the overall appearance. All our polymers and finished sealers are designed and manufactured to tried and tested formulas that are unsurpassed in strength, wear and quality. Only use Stencil-Tech products. Failure to do so may cause delamination and invalidate the warranty. Stencil-Tech's advice for successful spray-on installation. Avoid sealing onto damp surfaces. Avoid laying on rainy days. Avoid sealing in very cold weather. Temperatures must be at least 8 degrees and rising before proceeding. Always leave work protected before leaving the site. And remember, personal protective equipment should be worn at all times.